Good evening. It's 7 o'clock, Town of Granby Conservation Commission. It is October 13th, 2020. My name is Edward Chaptling, Vice Chair of the Granby Conservation. With me tonight at the old library is Amanda Smith, Granby Conservation Commission. And Bill, are you online? Bill, check in. Hello, Bill. All right. Wenda Luff, Conservation Commissioner. Hearing no one. Patty Castellanos, Granby Conservation. Okay. Once you can call Bill, see if he's available. Let me see if he's on this. Hey, Bill, are you there?
We're good. Hello, everyone.
Okay, Bill. So we
Hi.
have three.
Hi, Neil. Hi, Kevin.
Hi, Bill, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good.
Okay, so we
Hey,
have
we're all
commissioners,
we're
so
all
we
growing
have
the
enough
facial
quorum.
stuff here.
I like that.
Okay. So it's 7 o'clock, Town of Granby Conservation Commission. With us today is my name is Edward Chaptling, Vice Chair. Amanda Smith is also with me, and Bill Shaheen or William Shaheen is also with us by phone. I will open up the meeting for building permits. I have a building permit here for 42 Taylor Street. Okay. Is the applicant available for 42 Taylor Street? 42 Taylor Street for the garage.
I think that's Lee. Lee, open up your microphone, please. Lee Lalonde, open your mic, Lee.
Let me see if he's online.
Okay, yeah, he's on. He's on now.
Okay, you guys
Hello,
can hear
Lee.
me? Yes,
Yep, you're good.
all right.
All right, Lee, could you present your project, please?
Sure. I applied for a permit for a two-car garage to be built on the west side of my property. It was approved by the zoning board of appeals. And I thought that was the end of it, but it's not, of course. So here we are now trying to get permission from the Conservation Commission to go forward with the project. I've been in touch with Greg Briggs. I went to a meeting with Kathy Bronner. Everything was fine with those folks. I just don't know if I need any input from your board to proceed. There's a stone wall on the property. The garage is going to be away, of course, from the stone wall won't be impacted. And that's pretty much it, I guess.
Sure.
I don't have any,
Garage.
it's a 24 by 26 garage, not giant, not a, not a gigantic barn of any magnitude. And the reason I put it where I put it was because across my driveway, I have underground power to my house. And digging that up would be not insurmountable, but it would not certainly be cost effective to replace all my power lines from my house, because it's about a 400 or 500 foot run. It'd be a gigantic undertaking at this point in time.
My question I have to you, Mr. Lalonde, is that the garage, what is being built on? What is currently in its place right now?
What do you mean lawn? Just part of my lawn.
Established lawn. Okay. Any other commissioners have any questions? Amanda, I don't know if you need to take a look at this. Again, we're kind of limited access with the internet here at the library, so we're having a difficult time finding, getting a connection, so.
Sure, I
Bill,
understand.
do you have any comments? Is this something we need to take a site visit to?
Let's see what Amanda can find on the mapping, that's all. Let's look at the mapping first.
Well, we're kind of in a predicament here with the internet.
Do you want me to look at Mass GIS on this end?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, I can do that. Stand by, please.
Thank you.
Take me a moment. It's funny, I got 2 computers set up. I probably actually should have 3 computers set up for this.
Well, at any rate, we don't have the building permit here with us, or it's not in the package. So I don't know if this is something we want to take a look at, or is it staked out on the ground, Lee?
No, I mean, I got paperwork today in the mail from the town of Granby. The hearing was September 20th. There was 20 days of no appeal, if that's the right term. And now I'm supposed to go to the registry in Northampton and file. Then, according to the document I've got, it says at that point, Greg Briggs could issue a permit. But I wanted to pass it by you guys first to be above board with the entire project.
Bill, have you seen anything yet?
Yeah, just stand by, please. We're homing in on it. Lee, is this garage next to number 44 Taylor or number 50 Taylor?
I'm 42, so probably more towards 46. Probably it's halfway between Dolores Stewart and Pat and Tracy O'Connor.
Okay, so who lives at 50 Taylor?
George and Linda Randall.
Okay, so hold on, let me grab something. I'll be right back.
I believe so. So Lee, on the west side, I'm sorry, east side, whereas you come off of Taylor Street, you go down your driveway, you take a left onto your property. As you
Correct.
travel southerly, there's a stone wall, I guess, and then there's a wetland just on the other side of that stone wall. That was part of that same project we filed back in the day for the notice of intent. Is that the same wetland?
I mean, I I got a DEP permit when we built the house 30-something years ago. And then my son Chris, built his house, and it's probably, I'm sure it's the same, I think it's listed as a seasonal stream, if that's the right terminology, I don't really know. But yeah, it crosses this, the culvert has been there, that we all use the same thing.
Okay, so,
The difference is that where I go down my driveway, the stone wall is on the west side. And the bank is quite a bit steeper going down towards this seasonal stream compared to my son's property. His is more flat than mine. And I don't know the delineation. I'm guessing it's I don't know, 120, 150 feet away, but
Bill,
I really don't know.
what's your
Okay.
take on GIS?
Yeah, at least according to Mass GIS, it's well over 50 feet from the proposed shed location to the edge of the wetlands, well over 50 feet according to Mass GIS. So I think if Lee just puts in erosion control, you could probably put this in even without an RDA. If you want him to file an RDA, that's fine too. But it's over 50 feet according to the Mass GIS mapping.
Right. So Amanda, did you want to take a site visit real quick? Yeah. Take it out. So the prudent thing here at least is maybe to have the leads, like stake out the garage approximately where it's going on the property,
Sure.
where you permitted the thing. We'll take a quick look at it. I'll try to take a drive by next couple of days.
Okay.
And Amanda, you'll do the same thing in your travels. And Bill, if you have a travel, we can take a look at the stake building. Exact corners on the building. You don't have to do any offsets.
Okay, I'll just rough
And
out,
we'll make a decision.
I'll rough out a 24 by 26, approximate location
fine.
where I think it's gonna go.
That's fine.
Lee, are you
Thank you.
building
So
it on, is it on sonotubes, Lee, or are you building a 4-foot frost wall, or is it a slab on grade?
4-foot frost was the recommendation.
Okay, all right, so you're putting a 4-foot foundation in, okay, very good.
So we'll take a
Yeah,
look
so
at that.
I think it's prudent if Amanda and one of the rest of us can go over and take a look at it. I think that'd be prudent.
Okay, I'll get some stakes
When
in
do
the
you think
ground
we'll have that done?
tomorrow morning.
Okay, that'd be great. I'll try to drive by on the way home tomorrow.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay.
Okay, Lee.
Thank you.
Can I
Thank you.
ask the board, am I allowed to stay on the meeting? Reason being, I don't know if you're gonna be discussing, I don't know your agenda, whether you'll be discussing the development on the Center Street property that I understand is for a house that's being proposed.
Yeah, you can stay on the line, Mr. Lalonde, as long as you like.
All right, thank you.
Yep,
You're
yeah,
welcome.
public meeting, Lee, no worries.
All right, thank you.
Welcome.
No
Okay,
problem. Are there anybody else out there for building permits? Any other building permits? Okay, so hearing none, we're going to continue to administrative duties. What time do we have, Amanda? Keep me on track for 7:30. We have a very, very busy schedule tonight, so so we're going to try to keep everything tight and moving as efficiently as possible. So moving on to administrative duties. Commentary. Bill, you have any commentary to go over?
I
I think you and I have discussed this, Ed. We're way behind on our paperwork and we got to figure out how to resolve this. So we'll discuss it at the end of the meeting.
I agree. We can do that. Administrative wise, between the COVID and not being all together in one room, makes it hard to sign these certificates of compliance or the decisions that we make for these RDAs or the NOI. So it becomes very difficult to get that signature block. Well, so any other commentary, Amanda? Nothing. All right, we can come back to that. Oh, the other thing is, yeah, the other thing I made a commentary, we should talk to Kathy about getting internet provided into this building, because I don't have the password. I hooked up Cat 5 wire directly and it did not go into the
Are you
internet.
kidding?
So
It used to automatically connect as a Wi-Fi over there.
it's not showing up.
Oh, that's extremely poor.
We might have changed it without telling us. I don't know.
Oh, that's horrible.
We had the same problem last time. Item number 2, post the next meeting. I'm gonna post the next meeting for November 10th, 2020. Deadline for filing for that meeting will be Monday, October 26th, 2020. So that is the notice. Next
So,
meeting.
and this is, and this is for Lee. Lee, if you're gonna have to file an RDA, make sure you get your paperwork in due time for your project, if you have to file, okay?
The deadline will be October 26th to be on the next meeting.
Okay.
Item number 3, approved minutes. Again, the same thing we go back to as I think Wenda and Amanda have been doing some minutes. I think Bill, you've been doing some of the minutes. But again, without being together in one room, it gets kind of awkward. So I don't have any minutes to approve at this point. Does anyone else have any minutes? Nothing?
No.
Okay.
Ed, are you and Amanda are physically in the building tonight?
Yeah, she's on the other side of the library. I'm on the
Okay, good.
right side, left side. So, item 4, bills to pay. I do not see any bills here, so I'll move on to the next one. Item 5, financial accounts, updated quarterlies. I went through this earlier. There are no financial updates. Last one we received was for June 15th, 2020, and it was read in on August 11th, 2020. So there are none. Item 6, outreach education plan for the week. Anybody have any news about, how's our Eagle Scout coming along? Okay.
Then, we update all of them. These are
Good.
the bar.
Oh, yeah, the bar thing.
And we also prepared 2 water bottles in there, and we got out, pop some of them.
Excellent.
Ones down forever. I think it was good.
What kind of bridging do we use, like cedar or just timber that was in the area?
I'm not sure what it is, but it looks like you might have started already there.
Sure. Cleaned it up so that people can walk across it. That's okay. That's good.
I don't know if we really want to do anything additional, because now we're the goals.
That's a possibility. Maybe you can do that for us.
Yeah, it's a conversation.
Sure. Okay. That's good. Item 7, notices ZBA and planning board. I'll just go through some of these real quick. From an email dated September 22nd, 2020, addressed to Kathy Leonard, Silveron and Gmail. So I guess this was addressed to Bill also, but I don't see it in the email chain. So it says, "Good afternoon, Bill. I got your information from the building inspector. I am in the process of purchasing a building lot labeled 0 Amherst Road, Granby, Mass. I'm attaching the survey. The lot is marked E on this document. I'm just trying to do my due diligence right now before sign and purchase sale agreement to verify there are no wetlands on the property. I spoke with Bob and Richard Bombardier. They're the ones that did the perk tests and witnessed it. They felt there were no wetlands. The building inspector thought I should verify with you. The last note, I tried to call the number, it went to voicemail, blah, blah, blah. Again, something like this, when people come to me or as a commissioner, I kind of steer them to either a wetland specialist because no good deed goes unpunished. The commission is not usually going out certifying wetlands and giving opinions. So I don't, other commissioners want to do a take on that. So Bill, are you in agreement with that? That if someone comes to us about due diligence and wetlands, and they should hire their own specialist?
Well, of course, and I always tell people the following. I say, listen, I say everything's fine, and then you go and try to permit the lot and you find out it's not fine, then you're going to file a
Correct.
lawsuit against the town, and that's not a good thing. So again, to avoid that scenario, hire a professional.
Right.
Real simple.
I've got some other correspondence here that relate to the Burton Project Center Street. I'm not sure why it's in correspondence. It's Tom. Excellent. I have an email here from Don Frederick regarding the project on Burton Street. Basically, we can talk about this at the open the public hearing. We've got another letter here from Attorney John DeCruz, which again is also on the agenda in the public hearing section. I have a letter here from David Paulus, Mass DEP, regarding Mr. I think this is Attorney John DeCruz again. That's also a public hearing. Another email from Neil Jackson. I think this is in regards to another item that's on the agenda. Okay, I have an email here dated October 12th, 2020 from Healy Contractors to Kathy Leonard for the Conservation Commission. We have completed our erosion control installation. We'd like to skip inspection of this work. Please advise if this is acceptable method of requesting inspection or if there are other procedures we should be following. Thank you in advance for your assistance. So they installed the silt fence on that. I think that's Amherst Street project. Is anybody available to go? Bill? Amanda?
No, I've got a conflict on that, but I do have some information on that I will send out. So just one moment. Here it is. Ed, are you listening?
I am.
Okay. Now, Tim sent me an email again, and again, I'm recused on this, but I'm just going to highlight an email. Apparently he had issues putting in the silt fence due to the extensive roots on the property. So he's apparently going to go with a double hay wattle, which will be anchored into the soil, but not dug in as to disturb the roots. So again, when you guys do the silt fence inspection, just bear that in mind.
Okay. Was that an alternative to the
Well, yeah,
erosion
well,
control?
that was his alternative, because otherwise, to put in the silt fence and embed it 6 inches as per standard practice, you'd have to essentially kill all the trees by cutting the surface roots.
I understand. There's a lot of, that was a pretty long silt fence that was going in.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So he's going with hay wattles. So when you guys go out there, you'll see hay wattles.
I think he's a lot.
They're straw wattles, right?
Well, he said hay wattle in his correspondence. I'm guessing they're straw. I'm guessing they're straw.
I would think so, but yeah, maybe he should verify when we're getting, well, we'll have
Yeah,
to take a
when you-
look.
Yeah, when you guys go take a look, go look at it. My guess is if they are hay, you might want to have them put some silt fence behind it, or at least wrap something around it as to not allow the hay seeds to be transported out into the wetland.
Okay. I'll try to make an effort to get out there as soon as possible. Same thing, Amanda, if you have any Amherst Street. It's the one near the Keysore Street. About the correspondence here dated October 13th from a Susan MacArthur at BSC Group. Hi, we are in the process of designing a multi-use path along Route 202 for a Mass DOT roadway improvement project in Granby. We have a boardwalk for the crossing on the north side of Route 202, Ingraham Brook near Kendall Street, but would like to get your thoughts on it, if it would be permittable. I would like to meet with you both to meet you both to present our preliminary design and hear your ideas. Please let me know your availability and if I can set up a Zoom meeting. Thank you, Susan. So I'm going to say if she wants to do that, we can do that at our November 10th meeting.
Now, did you all see the email that Mark followed up with?
No.
Yeah, Mark sent an email out later this afternoon regarding that particular project. And Mark sent a sketch, or actually it's a photograph of someone that did a boardwalk using helical piers, which of course are essentially non-invasive in the wetlands. So, personally, I've used the helical piers for that sort of project as well. It's an excellent approach in lieu of driven piles or concrete foundations or that sort of thing. So certainly I'd invite her to the meeting and we can discuss options, including what Mark had suggested.
We're on 7/29. I have a recording confirmation for 8 Trout Lily Lane from Ira and Patricia Hare, dated August 14th, 2020, deed book 13736226. And we should put this in the Trout Lily folder.
Now, didn't we deal with 2 trout lily projects last month?
We did. This is 8 Trout Lily.
Okay, so I think we dealt with 2 and 4. So this is, I think it's at the cul-de-sac.
This is number 8.
Yeah, that's at the cul-de-sac, I think.
I have a forest cutting plan. One last thing, I have a forest cutting plan. Location, Granby, Chickadee Street, 11.24 acres. Proposed start date, fall of 2020. Prepared by Christopher Powell. Landowners, Jason Spiegel, 133 West State Street. Licensed timber harvester, Lashway Logging Inc. from Williamsburg, Mass. There are wetlands depicted on the forestry cutting plan. And we'll leave this out for later. I'm gonna read this in later. We'll go back to this. 7:30. 7:31. So we're going to move on to the public hearings. And we have a total number of 14 items on the public hearing list and appointments. So what I'll do is I'll read it in, open it up to the applicant. Applicant will present. Then I will open it up to commissioners for questions. Then the general public for any questions. And go from there. So first item on is number 1. Request for certificate of compliance, 6 Phillips Circle. I know this has been sitting around here. This, I think we already signed off on. I've got a note here, approved on August 11th, 2020.
Yeah, we signed off on that. That's all done, Ed.
Bill and Amanda signed off on it, but we don't have the actual certificate of compliance filled out, I guess, at this point. Bill, is this one that you had filled out?
I don't recall, Ed. All I know is we did address it and we signed off on it online, if you will.
Online, but that doesn't mean do they have it in their hands?
I don't know. You'd have to ask them.
Okay, so that being said, we'll have to readdress that, either come in and do that. Item number 2, request for certificate of compliance, 16 Aldridge Street.
That's Kevin. Go ahead, Kev. That's Morioni.
That's right. I have submitted a request for a certificate of compliance and also provided a rough certificate of compliance for your utilization. Hopefully it's there. And it's given to Kathy Leonard today.
Let me see if it went into the correspondence folder. There's some things in the correspondence folder that was kind of throwing me off.
Kev, do you have the original notice of intent and order of conditions from years ago?
Yes.
Do you have it in digital form?
No. I have the copy in my hand. Special conditions. 4 special conditions: erosion control, the standard, put it in place. Number 2 was an erosion control monitor. EMC to be on site while earthwork digging is conducted. 3, dry well shall be placed so as to ensure that the roof storm runoff from the new addition will be infiltrated into the subsoil on the property. And 4, 20 by 20 storage shed is considered to be exempt activity.
Now, you're in the riverfront on that project, correct?
Yes, close. We're considerably higher on the site, probably on the order of 60, 70 feet above Bachelor Brook.
But I mean, where's the lateral extent of your 200-foot line from your mean annual high water? Is it in the yard? Is it across the street, or is it behind the house?
I'm looking. It's in the yard. Oh, boy. The house is built top of slope.
Yeah, no, there was a shed that went in subject to some controversy on other means about 10 years ago. This shed is going to replace that shed?
Yeah, yes, the one that's
Okay.
proposed now.
Yeah, again,
Uh,
I wish I
what's-
had that. I
what's
wish I had
there-
that plan set in front of me.
What's there is the proposed shed at the time was 20 by 20 storage shed, which was considered to be exempt by the commission. And this was, the plan that I have in front of me is 15 June 2009. The outer riparian zone is in the front yard, front of the house. The inner riparian zone is just behind the house. And that's right approximates the top of slope. So the shed is within the 200-foot riparian zone, the outer. And that which was considered at the time to be exempt from the order of condition.
Yeah, do you have your exemption? Amanda, do you have the code up in front of you right now?
Which one are we looking for?
I wanted Amanda to look at the regulation and look at the exemptions.
We don't have the internet.
Okay, all right. Well, let me read it. I'll read it right now myself then. Hold on. Take me a minute here.
Bill, are we talking about a building permit now? Or are we talking about a certificate of compliance?
Talking about a certificate of compliance,
Yeah.
that comes first.
Yeah, he did. We're actually doing it together, but that's okay, yeah, because he needs a certificate of compliance on the old construction, and then the new construction is going to need a permit. So
Yes.
you're right. Let's do them separately. You're right. Let's do them separately. So that means someone's going to have to walk the site then and make sure everything was complied with during the original construction build out.
Kevin, I do not have that request for certificate of compliance here in any of these folders that were provided for tonight's meeting.
Oh,
So that
Yeah,
being
Kathy.
said,
Kathy was pretty definite about saying, oh yeah, it's in the pile. I went, okay,
yeah, I understand. There's a lot of stuff here, so
yeah.
not to say it's here, but I've separated all the folders according to the timeline on the administrative public hearings appointments. So I do not have item number 2 in my folders. So not to say that it's got stuffed into another folder possibly, and we'll come across it sooner or later, but I don't see it.
You want me to run you down a copy right now?
Yeah, if you want to knock on the door, I'll just take it from the door and then you can leave.
I've
can-
got it
we
right
can-
here.
We can table this to put you back on as soon as we get done with the next one.
Yep, I'll be right
Okay.
there.
All right, Kevin, thank you. So we're gonna table that to, or continue it rather to after this next one.
Can you make me a copy of that real quick?
Item three, continuation RDA filed by Daniel Lavasor, Giuliano's Pools, applicant Catherine Mercier, owner, see whether the work area depicted on plans and maps references subject to the Wetlands Protection Act or any municipal wetlands ordinance or the town of bylaw boundaries accurately delineated by with regards to property located at 53 Burton Street, map 2C52. And I think we did, and this, did we have an enforcement order at number 9? So that was already, that RDA was already approved.
Yeah, we approved the RDA, and I sent out a statement by the owner of the pool company asserting that they would dig a sump and discharge their dewatering water into the sump, which they did not do. And those photos I sent out last week clearly showed sands and silt in the wetland, in the presumed wetland area behind the house. So clearly, in contact with Stinson, this is it's going to be an enforcement action, in my opinion.
So item 3, Bill, is in error, the continuation of the RDA, because that has already been approved.
That's right. It was approved. It was approved subject to the provision that they would put a dewatering sump on the property and not allow water or soils to go into the wetland. They openly violated their own requirement that we agreed
I
to.
understand. I understand. Item 3 is really, should refer to item 9 as an enforcement order.
Yeah. Three is over and done with. We approved 3 last month. So 3 should, there's a bunch of line items on this agenda which have been completed, actually.
Understood. Item number 4 then, continuation of a notice of intent filed by Nathan Burton for proposed driveway culvert with regards to property located on Center Street known as map 8-A-10 in the town of Granby. Is the applicant here online?
Yes, I am.
Don Frederick's their representative. Donnie's here.
I am also
Okay.
here. Thank you.
Let me sign you in, Nathan.
Not doing too bad. How about yourself?
Good, thank you. So, Bill, did you want to take over on this? You are familiar with what was supposed to happen. We were supposed to get a retainer fee or a fee that would cover our environmentalists to walk us through this because it is a tricky site.
Yeah, it's a very challenging site. It's a very challenging site. And I contacted Emily Stockman, who's a well-known conservation, wetland delineation and permitting specialist. She provided a proposal to the commission for review services. And as typical, the owner, Mr. Burton, would be required to escrow the funds shown in the proposal to the town treasurer. Once those funds are in the hands of the town treasurer, then she can begin work and we can get this project moving. But until that time, I can't see we can do anything because again, we're waiting for our peer reviewer to be contracted by the owner via the town.
So, Don, you had sent us some emails back and forth requesting certain things. We haven't acted on any of those emails at this point because it's really, we want this in a open meeting here. I think your client would like to hire someone else, but I think in the town's interest, like Bill had said earlier, I believe that we want somebody that's outside the limits of the area that generally doesn't work at all in Granby. And that person represents us as commission. So there'd be no bias.
Can I ask?
So I'm not sure.
can I ask why, like the biggest question I have is this supposed wet meadow that is being talked about. If it is a wet meadow, why did the town sign off on a perk test that was put right in the supposed wet meadow?
I can't answer that. I'm not part of the Board of Health. I don't know. if Bill can answer that.
Again, it's always an interesting talking point, whether you do the wetland permitting first or you do your perk testing first. So you can spend X amount of dollars on wetland permitting and find out where you cannot do your perk, or you can do it the other way around. It's normally more cost effective to actually do your perk test first and do your wetland permitting later. But again, that's a chicken or egg problem that I think for years and years people have had to grapple with. But good question by Nathan.
Could I ask?
So
one-
the next question is, sorry there, Don.
That's
The
all
whole wetlands and everything has been flagged and put on a print in the whole 9 yards. The entire project is outside of the 100-foot wetland buffer. And the only other part that's in the actual wetlands is just the culvert and the drainage ditch. So that's why I'm kind of really confused why we have to hire another person to kind of go out and do everything that was already done, flagged, and put on a print.
No, that's a good question, Nathan. I can appreciate your concern, but typically a flat site, particularly a flat meadow site of this nature, it's usually prudent. It's prudent for the commission to retain a third-party reviewer, and that's what we're going to be doing in this respect. I'm just curious, what is your end goal for this project? Are you simply building a driveway in her house, or are you putting other facilities, or are there other activities that are going to occur on the site or in the buffer zone?
I mean, everything, I've planned to have everything outside of the buffer zone, nothing in the buffer zone besides just the farm fields that are already existing, leaving those how they are, just maintain them. The only thing, like I said, just a house and a storage barn for equipment and storage, like a horse barn for animals. That's about all my project is going to consist of.
Okay, because again, it's within the jurisdiction of the commission to regulate activity in the buffer as well, which would include any agricultural activity, recreational activity, or other use of the buffer site. So we would certainly appreciate input as to what your ultimate plan for the project is, so we can take that into account during the permitting process.
I mean, I'd just like to use it as farm fields, and that's it. Like I said, everything else is outside. So as far as I understand from the statement, that's
So
needed.
are you going to be a farmer? What are you going to farm on the property? I'm just curious.
I'd like to keep the hay fields going, and I'd like to get some cattle that I have stored at my friend's property.
Okay, so you're gonna cut hay, and you're gonna raise cattle on the property, and that's it. Is that correct?
As far as I have plans for, yes.
Can I ask whether or not there'll be any expensive motorcycle or quad racing in that area on that property?
Hold on. Who's talking?
Well, this is Lalonde Lee.
All right, I really haven't opened up Mr. Lalonde to the public yet.
I'm sorry.
Well, no problem.
And I do have one question, if I could.
Sure, Don, correct? Don, are you talking? It's back and forth.
Yes. Sorry about that. And yes, Don Frederick.
No problem,
Um, when we talked either last or the meeting before, I think I understood, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the reason you were hiring the peer reviewer was just for confirmation of the wetland line. I didn't think you asked for a full review of the notice of intent materials, and the proposal that was received includes the field work and review of the entire notice of intent. So maybe if it was just the confirmation of the wetlands, it could be less than the amount quoted, because you had estimated one field day for the wetlands confirmation, plus I'm assuming a report. So I would guess that would be under the $1,800 that was estimated.
Bill, if you remember, refresh our memory on what was discussed.
Well, I think we did discuss the delineation line. So Don, you folks are objecting to Emily doing actually a permit review?
No, I wouldn't object. I mean, obviously Nate doesn't want to spend too much money on the review, but I guess I put in my notes that it was for confirmation of the wetland delineation, not necessarily a full review of all the submitted materials.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what, let me communicate with her. I'll see if she can sharpen her pencil on that, but I strongly recommend, at least at this time, escrow the 1,800. And if she can cut some monies out and not spend the full 18, that would be to everybody's benefit. But to move this along, I would strongly recommend that Nathan submit the budget request at this time to the town treasurer.
Would it just be the wetland review or the entire notice of intent review?
It's up to the commission. Ed, what's your opinion? What's Amanda's opinion?
I thought the issue was more or less the wetland boundary, because there were people, Amanda, and if I remember correctly, Amanda and Linda, were not comfortable with meadows that are difficult. Sure.
Which is the first concern, that it's gonna work metal so long that people don't do it.
Okay.
And that's why it's sprayed area and getting such. Just make sure it's not actual.
Yeah, because Don, this project will be closely watched by abutters, and if we don't do this correctly, and we don't cross our T's and dot our I's with the wetland boundaries and the wet meadow, if there is a wet meadow in the middle or whatever, we need to have confirmation at least of that. I think we got that, at least that. I think the rest of the permit will fall in place, but yeah, it is, you know, people have always said that area has been wet. I don't know, I don't drive by that area. I'm not from this town originally, so it's gonna be a closely watched project, I can tell you that.
I certainly understand your concerns. I was just looking for clarification of what the peer reviewer was doing. That's all.
Okay, all right, so what are we gonna do, Ed? We're gonna have Emily do the entire review or simply the delineation review?
Good question, because if one precipitates something else, then, you know, it might.
Yeah, I'm inclined to have her do the entire review. That would be the cleanest thing. That way we don't have to get involved doing permit review. Let Emily do the entire package. That's my thought.
I mean, again, we were very short staffed to begin with, no staff.
That's correct.
I don't think anybody
That's right.
had the time to
That's right.
throw into this.
Okay, so just a question here. Let's say it is a wet meadow. What happens after that?
Well, then I think what's going to happen is your delineation lines are going to move. Some of your flags are going to move. It may affect your driveway in your house. It may not affect your driveway in your house. But certainly if the wetland is deemed to be larger than is shown on the plan, then your buffer zone is going to increase in lateral extent, and possible future use of the project may be curtailed somewhat. Again, we don't want you working in the wetland, Nathan, and we do have the authority to regulate work in your buffer zone as well, but we want to get this right.
Yeah, so I understand, but my question is, let's say that it is a wet meadow for whatever reason. Can I not put a driveway through it?
Let's not talk about hypotheticals. Don,
Well, I think he's already, Don, you're already doing a wetland replication, correct?
Yeah, just for the
Yeah,
process.
Don can go up to 5,000 square feet of wetland replication without Army Corps involvement. If it becomes super big, then it might end up being an Army Corps project, and that's a different kettle of fish.
So it kind of comes down to the more area you disturb, the more area you have to replicate.
That's correct. You got it. You got it, Nathan.
Okay.
You got it.
At this point, right now, we're talking about getting the wetland delineated and having, doing the entire.
Yes, correct. I was just trying to get a mind wrapped on this project.
Don can advise you as far as that. He knows right, as much as the commission does. I think any other, I guess we're gonna have to continue the hearing to our next date.
Yeah, Nathan.
How do I
again,
get a
would-
hold of the treasurer?
Bill, can you tell him about the treasurer?
Nathan, call Kathy Leonard, 467-7177. She'll switch you over to Stephen Nally. Stephen Nally's the treasurer, and you can bring Steve a check and deposit it into a chapter 4453G escrow account. And that will go toward the peer review, and then with that step of the project will be complete.
So,
Okay.
just one more question, if I could, Don Frederick. It does have a signature spot on the proposal from Stockman Associates. Is that possible to get that signed by you so that authorization can begin if and when Nathan brings that check over to the town?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Soon as I get word from Steve Nally, I'll communicate with Emily and give her the green light to go. Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks,
I wanna
John.
make-
Can I ask the board a question, or is it too premature? This is legal law.
I want to tell you one question. Go ahead.
I'm just curious as about the, being in a butter about the potential, commercial, or semi-private use of the property for, motorcycle or, quad, racing activities, which, you know, a couple toys, I get that completely. I was young once too. I'm just trying to be wary about a larger operation, which would be an unfit use in that residential setting.
Well, I think Bill said it earlier that any activity in the buffer zone would potentially draw the regulatory authority of the Conservation Commission to say yay or nay if the activity has potential to damage a wetland resource area by causing disturbance to the soil that would then cause erosion further into the wetlands, and that would be a problem. So at this point, I don't think his project is saying that there's anything like that.
The reason I ask is because by accident, I had my wife's cat, which is a house cat, escaped our house, and I had to chase it onto the adjoining property. And as I was chasing that stupid cat, I came across a substantial bridge in a wetland, what I think is a wetland area made out of some recycled telephone poles, which looks like you could drive a truck over it.
So when Emily is out there, she's gonna be taking a look at the wetlands and any, we could direct her to take a look at anything that might be a violation. At this point, if there's new activity, seeing how that's really been an empty meadow for our field for years, any activity,
Right, the poles were adjacent to the culvert on Center Street, and
So-
now they apparently are over a wet area for a crossing, which I thought was, being increased up and so forth was up.
Emily Stockman was doing the
Right.
wetland. So that's noted that you saw some activity or erosion. We can forward that to Emily Stockton, take a look at it and see if it needs to be addressed. And if it does need to be addressed, then we can just put it into the NOI if there is an issue. Add it as,
Appreciate your time, thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, Lee. Good to talk to you.
I made a motion, I'm gonna continue this to November 10th, 2020 at 7:30, appointments, public hearings. So if you do not have it done by that time, or Emily does, whatever, we just continue to the next meeting, just keep it on the schedule.
Okay, well, thank you. We'll advise you accordingly. Thanks.
Thank you, Don. Thank you, Nathan.
Yep, you have a good night.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right, coming back to item number 2, our request for certificate of compliance, 16 Aldridge Street. Mr. Brooks has dropped off a request for certificate of compliance. Request form 8A, along with the certificate of compliance form 8B, which she has filled out the pertinent applicant, owner, deed references, and we are to basically sign off, and then he can record this at the registry of deeds. So back to 16 Aldridge Street, certificate of compliance. Bill, have you been able to look at this site? It's been pretty well established for a while.
I don't have time to do that, but if someone else would be willing to go up there and do a walk around, that'd be terrific. Could you do that, Ed, or maybe Amanda?
I can try, but this site's pretty old, isn't it, Kevin? It's been.
Yeah, I think what you'd look for is any slope failure or any breakout of any sort. Again, as long as the facility's stabilized, I think that would be a passing grade, if you will.
If you guys text me the address later on, I might be able to put it in this week.
Wenda. Is that
Hey,
Wenda?
Wenda. She's calling in from Vermont.
Yeah,
Window.
I just got cell coverage.
Good, very good.
You know what time you signed in just now? Wenda?
Yeah.
Did you sign on just now?
Yep.
Wenda's caller number 5.
Yep. I have you on at 8 o'clock. Thank you, Wenda.
Yep.
So we need to get the certificate of compliance recorded, or they need to get it recorded at the registry to sign off, and then you're coming in for a building permit for a shed. That was part of the order of conditions in the past, but it was a little smaller. You can hold, yeah.
50,000. Estabrook, 100 foot, 200 feet. This is the shed.
I understand. I remember seeing it. Okay.
As an aside on this, I helped pull the foundation. I was 60.
You're a lot younger than that, right? I'm familiar with the area. Take a drive by. We can report on this for the next meeting then. Kevin,
Yeah, and this, the rough certificate of compliance is for your use.
Right.
You're happy with it, great. If not,
if we can get access to the computer, I could fill it out in Acrobat or Microsoft Word. It's just that we don't have internet access.
I know, I hear
So,
you. And see, this shed is considered to be exempt in the original submission.
all right, so I've got,
I can give you the reference number.
for the DEP number,
For the EP number,
it's right there.
yeah, it's right there. And,
All right, so Bill, you don't want to make any motions on this till somebody looks at it? Bill?
Yeah, I think it would be prudent. It's our standard practice to at least have someone do a walk around of the
Did
property.
you get paid on this, Kevin? This is past the 3 years, so it's the extra duty payment. All right, I've got 16 Aldridge Street, request for certificate of compliance. Wenda, Amanda, Bill, if you, on your drives, want to stop by there, I'll try to do that myself before the end of the week. Kevin, if you could notify the homeowners that someone from the commission or multiple commissioners will be out there walking the site.
yeah,
If they want us to call beforehand, let us know. Les is the owner for 16 Aldridge Street on the phone. So everybody, it's 16 Aldridge Street. I'm gonna take a snapshot of these sites we have to visit and in your journeys. we can, try to make it happen. I've got 16 Aldridge. And as far as the building permit, Kevin, I guess we'll have to wait till the next meeting. If you can't, is that correct, Bill? We're gonna have to wait on the next meeting?
Yeah, that's the reason I wanted to actually talk about that a little bit. Sheds per the code are exempt. So the question I think we had years ago, what's the maximum size of a shed? You know, one could argue a 25 by 25 building's a shed. I think most common folk would say 10 by 10 or 10 by 12 is a shed. So the question is, what Mr. Morione is proposing, does it meet the standard definition of a shed? So that's one thing we're gonna have to look at.
Does the building inspector have a take on that?
I think Greg has the plan set. I don't know, is Kevin there? I guess not. Anyway, let's cross that bridge when we
I
get
wonder
to
if that has to do with if it has a foundation or not.
That's a good question, Wenda, good question.
I think it's on piers. That's why it was exempted. At that time.
So, all right, we're gonna continue this, Kevin, to our next meeting. Hopefully we get the RCOC to you, or COC to you on the next meeting.
Yeah, let's get that project finished up and then we can start the new project.
So we'll have that on the next agenda on the 10th of November.
All right, thank you.
Okay, item number 5, continued notice of intent filed by John and Joanne Guru for proposed construction of a garage on grass area with regards to property located on 310 Taylor Street, known as map 6A-8 in the town of Granby. Is the applicant here for 310 Taylor Street? 310 Taylor Street, representative? Thanks, Kevin. 310 Taylor Street, that's item number 5.
I think we approved that last meeting.
Yeah,
We
I
gotta
think
do the-
Alan Weiss here. I think.
That's
Wenda's-
correct. That was approved last week. You're absolutely correct. That's done, over and done with.
Yeah, I think we have to do the order.
Item number order of conditions.
We gotta
haven't
do
talked
the
about
order of conditions yet. You're correct there.
So let me back up before we go on. Item 5. I made a note, item for 310 Taylor Street. Order of conditions needs to be typed out. Again, item number 6, continuation notice of intent filed by Timothy Healy Associates, General Contractors. Same action. We need to type out the order of conditions.
Yep, that's approved. Yeah, well, we'll get our clerical staff on it.
Item number 6. John P. DeCruz, Esquire, Munson Ridge. That was the letter that we received. It needs to be signed by the Conservation Commission. And 26th. Yes. Got a email correspondence going back to September 17th. Looks like this is for the bill. It says, hi, everyone, please review this week when you can. I suggest we sign this on the October 13th meeting. Attorney John DeCruz telephoned me yesterday and resent the submittal package. Only after we sign will the select board sign off. Final step will allow the Munson Ridge Phase 2 project to proceed. So the only question I had is, does it need to be notarized? And it does need to be notarized, but I don't know if I need to sign this or anybody else needs to sign this in front of someone. So I'm not a notary. I don't think Amanda's a notary. So I'm going to sign this if forward this over, and I'll contact either the clerk, Kathy Regan, to let them know I signed it, and we can just go from there. If I need to go back and re-sign it in front of her, we will. So I'll go ahead and sign this.
That's good, Ed. Very good. Thank you.
Amanda, you want to sign this, please? And we'll somehow get that to Kathy, and she'll talk to maybe Bill or Patty or Wenda. You can find your way over to the town hall senior center, see if you guys can sign it.
Yeah. I think Kathy Kelly Regan's up in the telephone building.
She is a
That's correct.
notary. That's true. You're right.
So I might be able to go over there after school if they need somebody to physically be there.
So Patty has to sign here on the top. Bill, your signature goes here, and Wenda, your signature will go there. We'll get that to be notarized and go from there. Item 7, continuation at 7:45. Notice filed by Mike P.O. PC Development LLC for proposed construction of a residential subdivision, associated stormwater management structures. The roadway will require a wetland fill and open channel crossing with regards to property located on Burton Street and known as map 16-B-15.4 and 16 in the town of Granby. Is there anybody out there for Mike P.O. Development? Don, are you still there?
Has that order of conditions run out yet? The new one or the file number?
Yeah,
They're not going to do a file number until they finish the water quality, which that document, I think part of what they're waiting for to get the conservation restriction.
That's
So
right.
Don, if you heard, I signed it and Amanda signed it. We're gonna get that over to Kathy, and she'll either get it over to Kelly Regan.
Yeah, I would say this is going to be continued until they sign off on that and we can resubmit
Right.
For that. So yes.
I'll make a motion to continue it till the next meeting. And 7:45, same action. Again, I don't know where the conservation restriction letter that's going to get recorded, and I guess that takes the place of the 401, or is that part of the 401 water quality?
It's part of it. That's correct.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to continue that to the November 10th meeting at 7:45 for Mike P.O. PC Development. Item number 8, gravel permits. We have the Rockies. Looks like we have Chartier's Greg Orland signed. Another Milwaukee one that's been signed and approved, 10/22/19, 10. I don't know why they don't put these out of the folder.
And Amanda and I just did a site visit to Naraki, I think it was.
Anders is the bigger operation, just south of Kendall.
Yeah, we did that one. I don't think
How did that go? Yeah, I thought you had advised us on that last time. Again, it's the problem is getting everybody in the room to sign these things. That's the problem. So it looks like Andric Materials Recycling. Wenda, you signed this on 9/8.
okay.
So, Amanda, did you get that one, Andric?
Yes.
Andric has one pit. That's you. Chartier/Orland. That needs to be signed. Did anybody go to Chartier's? Orland's off of Bachelor? No?
I don't think,
No, okay. Yeah, here's another one. This is a cop. Here's another one. Same on. And I have, jeez. This is 2019 Andres. That's 2020. Could you sign that in 2019? That's Andres 2019.
I actually didn't go out there and was here, so I wasn't out there. But
I don't know if we can either skip it or if we're just gonna sign off on it. Bill, what's the procedure if we missed the 2019, not signed, but it's
What project is it again, Ed? I'm sorry.
gravel permits?
Oh, well, again,
That's,
we're behind the 8 ball on these. We haven't signed off on the 2019 permits, and we're running out of months on the 2020 permits.
yeah,
selectmen signed off on it.
I thought the selectmen signed off on it.
I think there's only one of the Naraki pits we didn't sign off on in 2019. And I don't know what the situation is for 2020.
I know there was one we couldn't even find a phone number for it, so we could do a site visit.
That's right. That's exactly correct. You're right there, Wanda.
Calling all these numbers, I know.
Item number 9, enforcement order, 53 Porter Street. Bill, if you can go ahead and give us the rundown, what you observed.
Again, Giuliano Pool filed an RDA with us. We approved it at last month's meeting, subject to them doing a technical mitigation structure, if you will, i.e. digging a hole and ejecting the dewatering water in the hole to capture the water, help it diffuse into the ground, and to capture any sediment. Well, they didn't even do what they had proposed. I got a heads up from Greg Briggs, the building inspector. I went out there last week, took some photos, sent those around to you guys. I sent a photo to Mark Stinson as well. Clearly, it's a violation. I don't think it's going to take a lot of work to remedy. It's going to be hand shoveling essentially. And you probably saw the draft enforcement order I prepared last week. I recommend we send that out to the homeowner and Giuliano Pool, wait for them to complete the project, and then proceed with the enforcement order remedy.
Yeah, in their application for the RDA, they talk about about putting up silt fence and hay bales, et cetera, et cetera.
There was none of that. There was none of that, Ed.
Right, so enforcement order is it would be a proper execution, I guess, to do at this point.
Yeah, well, the big malady is they ejected sand and silt into the wetland, which has to be hand removed, as evidenced by those photos that I sent out last week.
Would you send them to, or should we have them sent to Kathy? We don't have an electronic folder. Send them to Kathy, see if she can print them up, we'll put them in the file. That, a plan, Bill?
What, Ed?
Send those photos to Kathy, Leonard.
Yeah.
We'll print them up on the town printer. We'll attach them to the RDA folder and the enforcement order for 53 Porter.
Oh, yeah, of course. We can do that, of course. In fact, the way, if you look at the fine print on the enforcement order, there is a provision for one member to sign the enforcement order. I'd be happy to do that just to expedite this. I don't want to let this drag into the winter.
No, you're fine. You're absolutely right. I'm okay with you signing the enforcement.
Yeah,
order.
okay. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll forward all the info to Kathy. I'll send her a finalized copy of that Form 9, I guess it was, the enforcement order. And then we'll get that sent to both the homeowner and Giuliano Pool down in Connecticut.
Sounds good. Yeah, Bill, do we need to make a motion on that enforcement order, or? You wanna make a
Excuse
motion?
me?
Do we need to make a?
Yeah, we'll move that. I move we issue an enforcement order to Ms. Mercier and Giuliano Pool of what town are they in Connecticut? Ellington? Is it Ellington?
Vernon, Connecticut.
Of Vernon, Connecticut jointly. This will be a joint submittal. So both parties will be equally responsible. And it will involve, again, a hand removal of silt and sand that was ejected into the wetland during the dewatering operations for the new swimming pool.
Sure. Are there any penalties?
Second.
Financial?
No, we can't issue any penalty. Locally, we cannot issue any financial penalty. What we will require, though, is them to hire a wetlands consultant. So they're going to need a consultant to oversee the operation.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and they'll have to prepare, as usual, a dated work plan for the remedy, as we've done in other projects.
I'll second your motion, Bill, to send out the enforcement order. All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Item number 10, RDA filed by Ashley Bowman, applicant, see whether the area/work depicted on plans and or maps referenced are subject to the Wetlands Protection Act with regards to property located on Bachelor Street known as Lot 6, Plan Book 244, page 105 in the town of Granby. Yes. Is there a representative for this project at Lot 6, Bachelor Street? Applicant or representative?
Ed, could you help me? Where is that with respect to the existing home lots on Bachelor?
Well, let me take a look. I've got a plan here.
Okay, thank you.
So it's a single family house.
I've got Mass GIS up right now.
This is located, if you were to drive up Amherst Street, past Aldridge Road. Next street will be Bachelor. You take a right onto Bachelor Street. You travel east, you go past the power lines, and it's a new Lot 6. It abuts on the north side's Bachelor, on the south is Aldridge Lake. I don't know if you can see the locust map there.
So this, Ed, this is on the south side of Bachelor or on the north side?
South side of Bachelor Street. between-
Okay, because I know we have another project on the north side. Okay,
East of-
all right, so,
Is it riverfront?
It's on Aldridge Lake. I don't know whether that's considered riverfront. I don't think it is. You know, that
yeah, I
lake is,
see, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lots carved out, approximately north-south. One of them's kind of funny looking, but I do see, again, I don't know, Ed, if you can read my map here. I don't know if that's not gonna show up.
too much glare.
Alan, can I speak? Alan Weiss here.
Yes, Al?
I
You
looked at this lot a few months ago, and safe to say the lake edge is the resource boundary, pretty close to it. And I think they're asking for your review of that with respect to building on the rest of the lot and putting in a septic and so forth. I don't think it's much more complicated than that. Do you actually have a plan?
Yeah, there's a plan.
Okay.
Al, do you have, do you know where 32 Bachelor is?
I don't have my
Number-
GIS open right now. I can
Well,
look.
okay, because there's 5 lots that are carved out. I'm trying to figure out which one we're
I think
talking
this is the
about.
farthest north.
Well, no, they're actually east-west.
Yeah, it's probably the last one to the east. It's just east of the
Yeah,
power line.
yeah.
Okay, the last one to the east then is next to number 32 Bachelor.
I'm looking it up now.
Okay.
I don't believe it's riverfront though. It would be lake.
I'm inclined to believe
Yeah.
that as well.
And it is, let's see. It is to the, okay, I see the 5 lots. I guess it would be that easternmost one. That
Okay,
makes
so
sense.
it's next to number 32 Bachelor, which is an existing.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can't pull up from my file.
Okay,
Just to help
okay.
you out.
Yep, that lot actually, according to Mass GIS now, it is, yeah, from the center of the lot to the edge of the lake is approximately 340 feet, roughly. So it's a fairly deep lot, even though it's the smallest lot of that group, it's still a fairly deep lot. Again, it slopes severely down to the lake, particularly after the first halfway down the lot, that it really dips off sharply. But again,
Yeah.
it should indeed be a buildable lot.
So, no, we're not questioning that. It's just, Al, you're not here representing the owner, are you?
I was working for them and I told them to go back to the original engineer that perked it. So it is the eastern lot, lot 6.5 acres. I'm not sure why they, does your plan show something with respect to a septic system and a house?
It does.
Okay, so that's what they're asking, I guess.
Well, Amanda had a question.
So the issue that I'm seeing here, like the reason they're applying for a permit, I'm assuming, is because they want the septic to be really far back on the lot. So they have all this space and they want it way back there with a retaining wall and stuff. Not retaining wall, but they're changing the grade.
So Al, why is the?
I
perk
didn't
test-
design this septic. I suggested they go back to the original perk test engineer. I think what you probably want to do is get up close and personal with their offset from the septic to the lake.
Ed, could you send me a digital copy of that plan?
I don't have it available digitally. Yeah, I could
Okay.
take a snapshot after the meeting and send it to you.
We need to get a giant scanner for the commission, because we use it.
That's about as far as I can go with it.
I appreciate that, Al. But you didn't do the perk test.
Thanks for the input, Al.
Is there any BVW? Do we know if there's any BVW?
Other than the lake, no. There's no, it doesn't show any BVW.
It's a very sharp drop.
It drops off pretty quick. Is there anybody there for this project on the telephone? Or our representative, Mr. Ed Berry, or Chris Stoddard? No. All right, so without anybody here representing them, I don't know if we should just table this to the next meeting and do a site visit. See what it looks like, right? You know, maybe it's all,
I move to continue.
all right, move to continue second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I'm gonna make this on our site visit, Bachelor Street. So we really should do a site visit on this anyway.
I can probably go by there tomorrow sometime.
Yeah, it's just past the,
Maybe somebody can make a site list visit and email it to everybody.
yeah, I'll do something to that effect. I'll take a snapshot, put it on the phone, and just text it to you.
That's good, Ed. Thank you.
All right, so let me put this away. Item 11. NOI filed by Dakota Richards, DPR Legacy Enterprises, Inc. for the proposed construction of a single-family dwelling with detached barn, with lawn and associated grading in the buffer zone of a bordering vegetated wetland with regards to property located at 163 Burnett Street, known as maps 1-B in the town of Granby. We have the applicant on the phone.
I'm here to represent the applicant, Neil
Okay.
Jackson, Engineering Services.
Hi, Neil, let me put you down.
Bill, is this
All right.
the one we're clearing and you got the call for?
Hold on, Wendell. Hold on, Wendell. Mr. Jackson, would you like to present the, your project?
Yes, it's, he's proposing to put a single-family house,
They give us some
a
points.
detached barn as shown on the plan. The house and the septic are outside the 100-foot buffer. The well and part of the barn and grading is inside the 100, but outside the 50 of the buffer.
Has it been flagged by a wetland scientist?
Yes, yeah, Burnett Street, I gave the data sheets to Bill and also dropped off for Kathy this afternoon. They were supplied to me today by Kevin Brooks.
Ed, I have a comment.
Yes, Bill.
Yeah, no, for the record, I'm gonna recuse myself on this because as Neil knows, the engineer of record on the project, I've done some projects with him, so I'm gonna step away on this one.
Fine, Bill.
And again, yeah, Neil had sent me the field data sheets, which Mark Stinson had requested, so I forwarded that to all you guys, so everyone should have them now. So I'm gonna shut off my mic here.
Come back on in about 5-10 minutes, please. right, so I don't have those data sheets in front of me, so they're not in this pile yet, so I'm guessing they'll make their way here. So DEP has issued a DEP number. It's designated as 165-0342. And there are some comments that are being added to this after, so again, I'll read this in real quick. A file number only indicates that the application contains the material submittal requirements and is administratively complete. Not that the information in the application is adequate for issuance of an order of conditions. Although a file number is being issued, please note the following. Item 1, no information was included in the NOI wetlands data sheets to justify any resource area delineation on the plans. Mass GIS wetlands as well as false color image suggests the presence of more BVW on the property than the plan shows. Item 2, to help ensure that the Conservation Commission has sufficient expertise available to address specific issues regarding applicants filing Mass General Law, Chapter 44, Section 53G, gives the Commission the authority to charge a fee for the employment of outside consultants that allow the use of that allow for the use of the fee to ensure that they have the necessary information for them to make a decision pursuant to the Wetlands Protection Act, Mass General Law 131, Section 2, and 310 CMR 10. If you have any questions regarding this letter, please contact Mark Stinson at 413-755-2247. And this was CC to us, and we represent J&P Environmental Services, Mountain View Drive, Belgium. So Wenda, your question was the data sheet. So those are provided, we can take a look at them. I'm going to say that the commission, I'm going to add this to our site visit schedule.
Yes.
So
Do we have associated riverfront with that?
I don't know. It doesn't show any riverfront on the plan, Wenda. If you want to do some research on that, go right ahead. Let's take a look at this before the next meeting.
Did they submit like a topo map that shows a dotted line just off the property or anything?
Let me take a look at the application. The application usually has the Mass USGS quad sheet in there. Let me see if it's in here. So, yeah, it's not in Mass GIS. It looks like no. What I have here, what appears to be the Mass GIS Oliver, not the US Geological Survey quad sheet. So, you know, I don't know if there's any rivers out or streams that would qualify, but if you want to take a look at that, Wenda, and if you want to take a look at that, that's fine. But we need to do a site visit on this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. So, Neil, do you have anything further to add about the project?
No, I don't believe so.
Any commissioners want to ask any questions to the applicant?
What was the barn, the animals that you were, a horse barn?
Did you hear that, Neil?
I did not.
Amanda Smith asked if what the purpose of the barn is. Is it going to be used for horses, cows?
I don't believe he's gonna have any livestock. I think he wants it mostly for storage.
Okay. So basically an oversized garage. Okay. Wenda, do you have any questions right now? Wenda, you're not coming through.
I don't have any questions until I see the site, visit.
Okay. Is there anybody else out there on the telephone that would like to ask any questions to the commission? No? Okay, so we're gonna have to do a site visit on this week. I've got it added to the list at 163 Burnett Street. Is the property occupied by anybody at this point? Is there someone living there?
No, there's no house. There's no structures on the property.
Oh, there's no house there. Oh, okay, it's a vacant lot.
Staked out. Is the house staked out in the barn?
Oh, is the house staked out?
No, they're not staked out yet.
Okay. Is the wellhead staked out? Do you know?
I can stake it out.
Yeah, at least the wellhead would be very helpful.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Wenda, you're asking for the barn or the house, maybe some rough stakes for that.
No, the lake's the one closest to the wetland.
Barn?
The barn, okay, yep.
Yeah, that'd be great if you could do that, Neil. At least it gives us a reference point out in the site.
Okay. I probably won't get there till Saturday morning, if that's okay.
That's fine. Well, that's fine. You can contact us and we'll take a look at it. It's
okay.
And we have permission to walk on site?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Neil. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
So we're going to continue this meeting to Tuesday, November 10th, 2020 with the other appointments and public hearings. Second? Or second? No? Second. All right, all in favor, continuing to the next meeting?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, thank you, Neil. We'll see you at the meeting.
Yeah, I'm up next, so you can't get rid of me yet.
Okay, well, that's fine. That's good. That's good. Two birds with one stone. Put this back in a way so we don't get this out. Let me sign, Neil signed in. Okay. This one, I'm going to recuse myself. I did the original survey for Mr. Galusha, who sold it to a neighbor of mine, which I recently did the subdivision for my neighbor as a surveyor. So I would have recused myself if I didn't do the survey for Mr. Kraus. So I'm going to let Amanda take over on this. It is item number 12. I don't know if you want to sit here or put your phone in service. Here, I think this is. So I'm going to recuse myself. Bill? Bill? You got,
Wenda, are you here?
Nope. Until I lose
Okay.
cell phone.
Going in and out, but gonna keep moving forward. So number 12 is an NOI filed by Daniel Cropan. How did you pronounce it?
I think it's Crapanese.
Cropanese. Thank you.
Yeah.
For a proposed construction of a single-family dwelling with lawn and associated grading within the 100-foot buffer zone to a bordering vegetated wetland with regards to property located at 0 Phillips Street and known as map 4B 2.9, 11B in the town of Granby. And who do we have representing here?
Neil Jackson, again, J&P Engineering Services.
Yep. Okay.
So the proposed house is outside the 100-foot and the septic obviously is outside 100-foot. The driveway, it's a long driveway. We've kept that all the way to the westerly portion of the property, staying out of the 100-foot buffer.
Okay.
All the wetlands are inside the wood line at this time. not planning on cutting any of the trees, so there won't be any disturbance anywhere near the wetlands. Field now,
Okay.
it's a maintained field, hay field.
Yep. All right. Wenda, did you have any questions yet?
As a wetland scientist, flag the field? And the-
Yeah, Kevin Brooks flagged the field.
Okay.
I'm trying to pull it up on my Mass Oliver right now using my phone. So give me one
Neil,
sec while I try and.
Went out there,
Question,
so I'm
Neil.
trying to figure out where it is on Phillips Circle.
Right at the end of Phillips Circle?
Yeah, that's the end of the cul-de-sac.
Okay.
Neil, quick question. Is
Yep.
did Mr. Campagna seal the plan?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna recuse myself, but I think I'm gonna have to invoke, or we're gonna have to think about invoking the rule of necessity on this, because I think there's only two people, and we need three. So, I don't know, Ed, if you're listening, I don't know if you want to join, or you want me to join, or how you want to handle this.
Ed stepped away too and was recusing himself.
Okay, we're both recused, but one of us gonna have to unrecuse, I guess. Neil, would you be kind enough to email me that plan set? Do you have it in a PDF format?
I do. I did send it to you at one time, but I can send it again. Sure.
Yeah, if you could send it right now, it'd be great.
All right, let me,
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
is this on the, sorry, is this on the north end of Phillips Circle? Or
yeah,
Phillips, yeah,
I believe
it is on the north end.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I'm looking in the right spot.
Check and see if there's any riverfront, because I know we got that brook out there too.
I don't have the best data available to me because I'm using Mass Oliver on my phone and it does not work very well.
Yep, I understand.
Oh, and I lost it.
And
So
FYI,
basically there's not,
lose you guys, I'll try to call back in, but I'm about to hit the dead zone.
oh no. Okay, Wenda. Bill's still here, right?
Yep, I'm right here.
Okay. Did you have any questions so far?
No, I'm good. Again, I'm waiting to look at the plan set. Oh, man, I have no idea what this is about.
Okay. Neil, you said there will be no cutting trees at all?
no, there'll be trees on the westerly side of the property, but that's well outside the 100-foot to put the driveway in.
Okay, so no cutting within the wetland or buffer zone or resource areas?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully that you got that, Bill.
Yep, I
And
got
are
it. Thank
there-
you. Yep, I got it. Thank you.
Are there any wetland data sheets included in this packet?
No, Kevin did not do wetland data sheets for this property.
Okay.
And try to
We
find
will
some.
need-
Yeah, I think those would be important for us to have.
Okay, I'll try to get somebody out there. I don't believe Kevin indicated that it's really too big of a job for him. He done it.
Okay.
He's got some issues with his leg, so he didn't really feel secure about going back out there.
Yeah, of course.
He fell on the site over on Burnett Street, so he doesn't really
So what?
out on a site.
Yeah. So Bill, you're looking at it now?
Yeah. Like you say, I
Do you have
see
any-
some wetland flags. Again, I'm not familiar with, I know in general where the project is, but again, I can't really make any comments based on what I'm looking at.
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling the same.
I think it would be prudent for maybe one of you guys to go out there and do a walk around with Neil.
Okay. Yeah, I think we should at a minimum do a site visit.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe we can, you're still local, Amanda, we can go out with our augers.
Yeah. So do we have a motion to continue this until our next meeting?
Second,
I don't think anyone made a motion.
oh, I thought that was it. I make a motion to continue
Okay.
to December 10th, is this? Or
Yes. I believe it's November 10th.
Yeah, November 10th.
Okay. And do we have permission to go on the property, Neil? Or did you
Yes.
want to meet us out there?
I'd certainly love to meet you out there.
Okay. We can try and set something up. And Bill will have your email address because you just emailed him.
and maybe
All right.
get a
That
cell
sounds good.
phone
Okay.
too, Amanda.
Yeah. Did you want to give us your cell phone number,
Yeah.
Neil, or do you want to just email
No.
it to Bill?
I could give it to you if you want, either way.
Yeah, you can just, yeah, I'll write it down.
It's 413.
Late,
Okay.
late afternoon after I get out of school.
You said 413?
Yeah, 413-896
896
6607.
6607. Okay, great. So we'll be in touch to set up a site visit before our next meeting.
Okay, sounds great.
Just forwarded the plan to Amanda and Wenda as well. Thanks,
Okay,
Neil.
thank you.
Thank you. Okay,
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
very good. Have a good
Thanks.
evening.
Good.
Have a good one.
All right, thanks a lot.
Did I lose you guys?
Nope. Item 13, RDA, filed by Joseph Dickinson applicant, to see whether the work/area depicted on plans or maps referenced are subject to the Wetland Protection Act of regards to property located as Lot 2, Amherst Street, known as Map 1, Block B, part of Parcel 2 in the town of Granby. Is there an applicant here for that item?
Yes.
And Don Frederick for
Who's calling?
representative.
Okay, that's. Go ahead, Don, make your presentation, please.
Sure, this property known as Lot 2 on Amherst Street, which is about 300 feet south of Bachelor Street. The proposed improvements on the lot include driveway, septic system, house, and a studio and well. The wetlands are to the south of the proposed development area. We have work just inside the 100-foot buffer zone, approximately 80 feet from the wetlands. No other work in the buffer zone. I was just seeing to see if we had a square footage. Yeah, all proposed work is over 80 feet from the wetland delineation limit.
Okay. So this property, for everybody's reference, this is just south of Bachelor Street. It's part of those lots that were broken off. The other one we just talked about on Bachelor Street, this is part of that same subdivision that occurred a few years back. So this is on the north side of Aldridge Lake, just at the, when you come down Amherst Street, the lower section, and you start climbing up the hill, it is up on the hill.
Ed,
So if you
question?
guys want to do a site visit, go ahead, Bill.
Oh, excuse me, there's number 290, which is an existing house on the corner. And I think there's at least 2 flag lots and another really funny shaped lot. Don, looking easterly on Amherst Street, looking at number 290, is your lot the first or second flag lot, or the third, which abuts the lake?
Trying to find the subdivision map because the Oliver doesn't have the lines on it. I believe it's the second one south of 290, the second flag lot south.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm looking, actually, the Oliver I have, I've got the tax parcels shown, and again, I don't know how recent those are, but it does show the subdivided breakout of some of those chunks of land. Okay, so that's a flag lot. It's got probably a 40 or 50 foot entryway, and it flares out at the end. Actually, a good part of that lot, I think, is water, is it not? And it also owns, I think the owner also owns some property on the other side of the lake, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, that's the one then. Okay, that's an interesting piece of land. Okay.
And Bill, am I right that when they break up a piece of land that it has a total impact for all the lots?
Say again, Wenda?
When they break up a parcel, there's a total limit for the amount of impact for all the lots?
That's probably more of a planning board issue, and we got 2 registered surveyors. We got Don and we got Ed. So Ed, if you could opine, and maybe Donnie too.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Total
Wender?
wetland
I think Wendy's asking whether or not
I did hear
total
total
wetland impact.
There is no, I don't know about the other projects in this frontage lot divisions, but this is buffer zone only. It's not wetland impacts.
I know,
And
but
I think-
Yeah, there's no wetland filling.
And I think we allowed somebody to go in and do some limited logging on a couple of those parcels over the last 2 years, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was the fellow from Granby. Who's the logging guy on 202? What's his name, Wenda?
oh, Sean Lammert.
Yeah, Lammero. I think Lammero took some trees out on one of those lots. And I
Oh,
think,
buffer
and I
zone
think,
working, so-
and I think we required, no cutting within X number of feet of the lake. Again, I don't know what X was. It was probably either 50 or 100. But I believe we did have a no cut limit on those lots.
Usually it was 100, because anything closer than that's gonna be a RDA.
Oh, yeah, well, I can see the
Usually,
terrain. I'm
just
looking at the topo, the topography, and it's extremely steep near the lake, obviously.
So you want to do a site visit, or you just want to, this
Well,
is
do you
right
have
next to the other lots.
Do we have a plan? I don't have a copy of the plan for this.
Yeah, we do. I don't know, Don, can you email that out electronically to the commission?
Yes, I can do that.
in a- Excuse me?
Yes, I'll send it out.
Thank you,
That'd be
Don.
great. I could, just by looking at the plan, there's a little, looks like a little grading inside the 100-foot buffer zone, not much. Is that correct, Don?
That's right. It's a very small piece, 80 feet away from the wetlands.
It looks like, yeah,
I could-
rills, not rills, but some channels that need to be. Trying to do. Did you hear that question, Don? Amanda wanted to know a little more descriptive on the channels.
I'm sorry. I still didn't hear what the question was. I'm sorry.
Amanda Smith wanted to know what's the cause of those channels and why they're being filled. What's the purpose?
Not sure if they're just basically been eroded over the years from overland flow, concentrating in that area.
I mean, I can see the one near the house and probably the other ones here close to the septic.
I'm not sure that it's gonna be a perpetual issue, but it was a pre-existing issue. So if they try and fix it, it's not gonna,
Fix it.
yeah, like it wants to do
It
that.
wants to flow in its natural path.
Yeah.
So I think we should take, if you guys want to do a site visit, look at that channel. Don, you think if you fill those channels in, do you think it's going to reoccur? The water path?
No, there's some grading being done that's going to sort of spread out the flow in different areas than in those channels. So I think if they fill and become vegetated, I think they'll be fine.
Okay. Yeah, I know. Okay, we're going to take a look at this on our travels. Is the house staked out, Don?
Nothing is staked out at this point.
I
Okay.
did place some rough stakes of the house.
Okay, this is Joseph. This is Joseph.
Yeah. I did
Okay,
place.
you have some rough stakes of the house.
Yeah. On the plan, there are some, you'll see there's found stakes where I put 2 stakes out there when they did the surveying. So, and the whole house was pushed back, I think 10 or 12 feet. So I staked out the corners of the house based on that information. So there's just roughly where they are. Obviously, I'm not a surveyor, just roughly where they are.
That's fine. See, you have permission to enter the site? Joseph?
Yes, yes.
Thank you. All right, so commissioners, that's another one on the list. I will put together on our travels. We don't have to go as a group. We go at our own pace. I'd like to have this done by the next meeting, at least the site visit, so we can get these issued and wrapped up for the project. Anybody out there on the telephone would like, or the a butter would have any questions? No.
FYI,
I'm sorry, Wendell, what was that?
I'm back.
Okay. Any other commissioners have any questions for the applicant? No? All right, make a motion to continue the next meeting of November 10th. At the public hearing appointments schedule at 7:30 on. Any second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. You have any questions, Don? Joseph?
No,
I'm all set. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Item number 13. I'm sorry, item number 14. All right, moving on. Item 14, RDA filed by Net Kamiga, applicant, see whether the area depicted on plans or maps referenced are subject to the Wetlands Protection Act or any municipal wetlands ordinance bylaw of the town of Granby with regards to property located at Lot 3, Easton Street, and known as map Lot 3, in the town of Granby. Okay,
Mr. Weiss.
is the applicant on the phone?
I'm here in representation for this project.
I also,
Alan Weiss, Cold Spring Environmental.
Hi, Annette.
greetings. Annette is also here.
So I've spoken to Bill about this, and basically the project involves a driveway, single-family residence, and well, as well as septic. The dwelling, the septic, and the well are well beyond the 100-foot buffer from a bordering vegetated wetland. There is a driveway cut in from Easton Street to the north that does involve a slight incursion to the buffer zone in excess of 50 feet. I've been out there a couple times now. I'm pretty comfortable with the closest wetland to the driveway being a resource area as well, being over 50 feet. Bill, you were correct. It is connected to a larger wetland network there, in my opinion. But like I say, the work does involve including siltation control at the 50-foot boundary and staying away without any further incursion.
Okay, thank you, Al. Ed, I've done a fairly, I've done a remote review. I have not physically been on site. I've been by the site, but I've done a fair amount of office review. I'm comfortable with Al's findings, and I recommend that we issue a -3 this evening.
Do we need to do a site visit at all?
Okay.
Well, I think we asked that same question last month.
Okay.
Last
All
month we didn't have.
Yeah. Again, Al's been out there, and I've looked at some aerial photographs. I don't think there's an issue.
I think last time we had a delineation. So, it was, if I remember correctly, I think there was no proposed building or proposed driveway, which is what they're presenting now, which is good. We have a direction to go in. Al, Mr. Weiss, are the wetland flags on the site delineate out there?
Yeah, the wetland flags are in, as so is the siltation control barrier.
You put the erosion control up already?
I didn't hear that.
Did you put the erosion control up already?
They have, yes.
Okay, thank you. So,
They're anxious to get started.
go ahead, Al.
I said they're anxious to get started. That their control is up, yes.
What do we have here? Commissioners, any questions to the applicant at this point? No? You got anything? To the applicant's representative?
I just was asking about reviewing the location for the ground.
Okay, sure. So, Linda, any questions?
If you're asking me, no.
Not at this time, okay. I personally have not driven by this site. I've not been on the site. I know we had talked to them earlier at the other meeting, and this is relatively,
I would like it put on for agenda anyway, do a site visit.
All right, so Wenda, you're still want to do your site visit, correct?
Yeah, we should check the site, the fence anyways, all that stuff.
Sure. Because the original A&R plan was submitted, I think, last time by the applicant, or it was informally submitted. That was done by Harold Eaton's office, I believe. They did show wetland bounds, but I don't think they were delineated with any official numbers or anything like that. Unless it's satisfied planning board. So, any reason you want to do site visit then? You don't need to do site.
Yeah, I would just like to check out the road controls for the great ground, but I think it's still that tomorrow.
Okay. Wenda,
Yes,
you want to do a site visit? Amanda seems to be pretty confident with Mr. Weiss's determination, at least as far as the wetland.
yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I just want to do a site visit, check out the silt fence and know what we're dealing with anyways.
Okay. So, you want to close this out tonight, or do you want to make a motion? Or if I have any motion, anybody else out there on telephone would like to make a comment?
And I move, we vote -3.
Well, I'm asking, hold on, Bill. Hold on. Anyone else out in TV land there to, or telephone land? Okay, hearing none. So go ahead, Bill. Go ahead, Bill, you can make a motion if you like.
Yeah, I move that we approve this as a -3 project. And again, with a proviso that Wenda goes out and takes a look at the silt fence for installation quality.
Yeah. Amanda was gonna do the same thing.
But I can't see delaying the project another 30 days at this point.
I'll second Bill's motion.
Discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Again, we have to do the paperwork on this. -3. Again, I don't know, on the RDA, we can't put any special conditions.
If it helps, I'm sorry,
We
Bill.
we could put the proviso that the silt fence are to be installed in accordance with the submitted site plan that Al had prepared.
Yeah, it is on the plan, the provisions for filter control.
The silt fence
Also,
actually goes up about 350 feet the roadway.
Who's talking?
That was
That's
in
Annette.
that,
Go ahead.
yeah, when I had them install the silt fence, it's approximately 350 feet from the roadway, up the edge of the driveway there along that wetland area.
And the other special item we could ask for is if we request or gain access to the lot during the construction process to monitor the silt fence.
Okay.
So item 14 is an RDA -3 with silt fence. And we'll have to type that out. It's not gonna happen tonight. So we'll try to get that to you. Or Al, as soon as we can. We'll type that out.
Okay, great, thank you.
Thank you, Annette. Thank you, Alan.
Much appreciated. It's getting close to my bedtime here. Thanks.
Me too. I'm yawning. Thank you all.
Yes.
Another hour.
Good night.
That's a
Good night.
good thing about doing these remote meetings. You could fall out of the office right into the bed, and it's a lot better than driving 50 miles. Take it easy.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So we have a couple of administrative things to go through real quick and we can wrap them.
The two really important ones, so we can approximate them. So we have the COC for the Grove property, 78 Chimney Street.
Okay, hold on.
They've been waiting so we can get that file.
C, is it order of conditions or certificate of conditions?
The order of conditions. Well, it's gonna be both.
Order of conditions for 78 Chimney Street.
So,
And
Bill, can you hear me?
Yes.
If you electronically sign the building permit or not building permit, the order of conditions for that one,
Yes.
and then send it to me, I can print it out and then bring it to each of our places to get signed so that we can get that done.
Okay. For which project?
78 Chicopee Street, the Borough property.
Oh, okay.
They want to file that with the Registry of Deeds
Yeah.
so that they can apply for their COC.
Okay. Do we have a PDF of that currently?
We should have some.
Yeah. If you could send me a PDF, I can electronically sign the PDF and send it right back to you.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, but it's got to be
I
in a
can
PDF
also-
format.
Yeah. No, I know how to do that too.
Okay.
And I
That's
figured
good one.
since you,
That's good, Amanda. Thank you. I'm going to call you
Yeah.
about another project as well, probably in the next day or so. Okay. Thank you so much.
okay. And then the other one is 35 or 37 Burton Street.
Oh, yes, that's the Volpe family. Yes.
Yeah. So I finally just pulled out their NOI and it looks like the driveway might not even be in the proper place according to what was approved.
Oh,
So I don't really know, and I can't really find much about that. Also, I sent you guys pictures and there are several inches of fill that is resting against the silt fence, like kind of pulling it down.
okay.
And it is not fully vegetated because a lot of the topsoil has washed off. So it's kind of that stony fill that's left, and the grass can't take hold. And so it's only partially vegetated, like 50% in some places.
Okay, well, that has to be conveyed to the owner and they have to remedy that.
I did speak with them about it last week when I took those photos, because it had been a month since I'd been out there, so I wanted to see if they had more progress. But I think just because it is a slope, it eroded away, and now the grass seed can't make purchase because there's no soil left.
Okay, thank you.
And also, it is within the buffer zone where the silt fence is, and where that extra material has been deposited is all in the buffer zone as well. So I don't know if we have to have them remove that, or if it's far enough outside of the resource area. I'm just not sure how we want to handle that.
Yeah, I think the commission should discuss this. Ed, were you following that?
I was.
Okay. What's your thought?
And
Oh, go ahead, Amanda.
It's gotta be,
Is this the Red Maple Swamp House?
They're closed down.
Yeah,
I
that's a
don't know,
red
but
maple
Wenda, we went
swamp.
out to it.
Yeah.
No wonder they're tired. See?
Yeah, hold on. Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I don't like that driveway crossing. That's pretty sketchy.
Yes, the driveway is also an issue. It's not fully stabilized.
Yeah.
But they will have to redo it when they get their natural gas put in. So that's kind of a pending project for them.
Yep.
But they have continued the order of conditions. But Wenda, you remember how we went out there and they had that parking area to the right side?
Yep.
The plans show it on the left side.
Oh.
They have it far away from the wetland area, not going towards the wetland area.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, there is also a like a footing drain, or either that or there's some pump drain going out towards the wetland area and stabilized with rock, and that is not on this plan at all. I don't see anything about drainage.
You think they have a problem there?
Yeah.
Sorry. When we saw the pond that was where they were putting their house, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh. I don't know where they put the water. So they're putting on the same side as the parking area, or on the other side?
What did you say?
The drainage pipe, I can't remember. Is it on the right
It's on
side
the
or-
side near the parking area,
No.
south of the parking area, but a little farther towards the silt fence.
We may have to call those folks in to chat with them a bit.
I'm just not sure if there was an updated plan that I'm not seeing. This one's from 2016.
That was the original plan that we approved.
Yeah, so I wasn't sure if there had been an updated version where maybe things had been tweaked, but I can't find any in the file.
Mm-hmm. That was the one where I had recommended they put in the 12-inch culvert at the drive, but that actually never made it into the special conditions. So we really don't have any teeth on that one.
Yeah.
But it's not stabilized, it's a mess.
Yeah.
I was out there about 6 months ago and there was debris up against the silt fence, construction debris.
Yep.
So again, I can't see us signing off on that at this time.
Well, they weren't asking for a sign off. They're not closing out the permit. They just wanted to remove the silt fence in the area along their lawn space, basically from the parking section north, but not along the driveway area.
So
But
would
again,
your-
in that section is where I saw the erosion and the fill along the silt fence.
Okay, well, if there's erosion and fill,
Yeah, there
that's
was
certain-
erosion, I remember. Yeah, going
Yeah, so
down to where they just had the trees and everything.
Yeah.
There's just, yeah. It's definitely not stabilized enough to take the silt fence out. Through there, yeah.
Yep. But I don't know how to handle this with this current situation. The driveway not being in the right place, there being an additional footing drain.
Well,
Okay.
just case in point, Mr. Collette on Cold Hill, his driveway wasn't in the right place and we've actually issued an enforcement for him to do a replication. I guess you could argue the same thing on this one. Not that I'm advocating we do so, but the precedent has been set.
That was going through a wetland.
Yeah, that was an extreme change of plan after we approved it.
Yeah, this one isn't quite as severe.
Yeah, and it's not in the wetlands. It's still just buffer zone work,
Mm-hmm.
as far as I can tell.
Let's tell her to leave the fence up and we'll just, stop the erosion back and wait till it vegetates again. All right.
Wait till another growing season at least now.
Yeah.
Maybe we
So I got,
send them a letter saying, due to the unstable ground, the silt fence cannot be removed at this time until following the next growing season next summer. And we see it's in the state condition.
Okay.
so let's, go back to the administrative, we'll do a couple more things and follow. I did put in financial report for April 2020. Along the market today. So, numbers pretty much follow margin. Administrative Bruce, fourth come in, Smeagol, okay, on Chickadee Street.
Okay, it's 9:30.
Just south of 403. 202 north, you come down Chickadee, past Aldridge, Chickadee School, Chickadee School, not what's the only Ryan One Club. So I just want the force coming in, look at it, and please contact that one with that information.
Do you know anything about all the filling behind Tanya Gets You Fit?
Excuse me, Wenda? Behind where?
Tanya Gets You Fit, next to Glamour Landscaping, my property.
Oh, I haven't driven up there in some time.
Yeah, right behind Little Italy. Tanya Gets You Fit, filled probably 50 feet out there, 10 feet high.
Oh, you were talking to me about that. Okay. Oh, so they're doing a building addition?
I don't know, no, they just have a dump.
Continue on, guys.
The
Want to get out of here?
I didn't
Wenda,
know if
can you
anybody else was-
Wenda, do a site visit and take some photos and we'll talk about it next time.
Yeah, I just didn't know if you knew about permit or not.
Okay. Ed, I'm gonna bail out of here. I'm exhausted.
I'm almost done. I think that was the last one. I think I have a couple of emails here, but they're wrong way. So, that being said, I'm gonna make a motion to adjourn.
A second?
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.